Hi guys, this is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to our weekly energy update for October. We're going into our first week in October. October happens to be my favorite time of year because I love Halloween. So you guys are going to see a lot of Halloween stuff come out from me. And that is because it's just, I don't know, so near and dear to my heart. And I like playing with the graphics for Halloween. I think they're the most fun. We have a crazy, crazy week, and I'm going to go into what is going on this week. I'm going to try to keep this short because we have so much to talk about. So on September 28th, Saturn in Capricorn goes direct. We have on October 1st, we have a full moon in Aries. And guys, by the way, we have 2 full moons this month. So this is the month of the blue moon. It's pretty intense. We also have Venus moves into Virgo, which is in detriment. That happens on October 2nd. Then we have an intense revisit. Pluto in Capricorn quincunxes the North Node in Gemini once again. 22 degrees. And then we have on October 4th, we have Pluto and Capricorn goes direct. So before Pluto and Capricorn goes direct, guess what? We have an intense quincunx. So it is just a reinforcement of the direction that we should be going in, and to stop the duplicity in us, to direct us more north, I guess. So that is all that's going on, but I'm going to briefly cover each day. I'm hoping to release a couple videos to help support us through this intense week, because more than likely we are going to see a lot go down that it's going to be hard to process if you're a deeply emotional person, empathic person, if you're a person that is very in tune with energy. You are going to be kind of on a roller coaster ride in the feels this week. But that's okay, because as long as we know about the energy, then we can understand our feelings for what they are. Just we are absorbing energy, and so we need to route that energy in a healthy way. So I'm going to hopefully give you some suggestions as we go through this video for this week. So it looks like the beginning of October and the end of October are going to be our fireworks displays. It's just going to be a tough month because we're going into Scorpio season. And anytime you go into Scorpio season, you're diving in to the depths of everything. And a lot of truth, a lot of lies come out, a lot of deception, a lot of manipulation. Just you know, seeing people for who they are, the mask being taken off. Those things often happen when we go into Scorpio season. October is my favorite time of the year because of Halloween, but it's absolutely the toughest emotional time of the year for me always, because of the amount of lies and deception that always gets revealed during Scorpio season. Okay, so let's just get right into this because it's going to be a long video. On September 28th, Saturn in Capricorn goes direct. It is conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn and conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. It is squaring off with Mars in Aries, which is in retrograde, squaring off with Mercury, which is in Scorpio right now, and then it is in this quincunx with Venus in Leo. So this is a very intense day, I think, for many who are having problems with identifying the direction that they may need to go in. They may be sensitive about something personally about them. It may be an area where we lack discipline and where we lack structure. we visit that on the 28th. It gets emphasized somehow. If it's just deep in our minds, or if it's because, we have this whole Mercury and Scorpio thing, it could be feelings direct us to pay attention to this particular area. It also could just mean that somebody perceives you improperly and highlights this to you, and it may be something that you are like, not, you're, it could have been something you were mulling over. It's coming up, kind of was triggered during the retrograde cycle. But as we start to go direct, we start to really fester over this part of us. This is also very, very external, right? This could be an area where we're globally or worldwide or just in the particular country that you're in, thinking about how power and control is taking away our personal power, and it's going to evoke a very deep reaction. You are going to feel something before you fully understand what it means to you. There's going to be a feeling of anger, or a feeling of you need to fight about it, or a feeling that you need to become all warrior about it. This is a very tough time for relationships. This whole week is going to be really pushing your buttons on the weaknesses and, the strengths in your relationships. So if some of you have a relationship where you're questioning whether or not this is the solid, whether this is the one you want to move forward with, this person, whether this person has your goals in mind, your same goals in mind, this could be a very tough time for relationships where I feel like they are you're really trying to enforce your foundation, and you're really trying to strengthen and look at your long-term goals. And so you're going to be looking at the person that you love, and you're going to see if they fit in there. So it could be a very tough time for relationships, especially in the month of October. Okay, so next day we're going to talk about this week is October 1st, big day. It is a full moon in Aries. And a full moon in Aries is a very intense moon anyway, because I have my moon in Aries, and it's just a very emotionally charged moon, meaning like you can easily flare up and become incredibly impatient when there's a full moon in Aries. You can become very combative. You can have a quick temper when there's a full moon in Aries. You can just all of a sudden impulsively be done with something, and you just react, and without thinking about the ramifications if your energy is in a negative spot. So, and this particular full moon is a little cantankerous. So it's a full moon in Aries conjunct with Chiron in Aries, meaning you're going to be in the feels about vulnerabilities, about places where you feel vulnerable, not secure. They feel like you have to react, and it feels like you have to do something about it. You could be very, very impulsive if you are feeling vulnerable in this particular full moon. It's opposing the sun in Libra, which means relationships, partnerships, bonds, unions are all emphasized when we have a full moon in Libra, because that is the polarity of Aries energy. And it is in a wicked little square with Jupiter and Capricorn, which means Jupiter and Capricorn is expanding everything it touches. This has to do with places where we don't feel empowered in our lives, where we don't feel like we have any control, where we don't feel like we, that somebody else is making decisions for our fate, our future, where we can't attain our goals because somebody is throwing up obstacles, something where rules and regulations aren't fair, aren't just, they're not. You just feel very conflicted in this type of energy. And anytime we have conflicted energy like this, we get with this moon in Aries. Now mind you, we have 2 full moons this month. So we are going to have very harsh realities thrown at us 2 times this month. One, in our sense of self, what we identify with, who we identify with, and how we're perceived. And then at the very end of the month, on the 31st, on Halloween, we have a full moon in Taurus. That's about what we value, who we value. That's about what we possess, the material world, the material, like the things that we want to attain in our lifetime. We could feel threatened in those particular areas. It's going to be a tough discussion this month. It's because it's almost going to warp us into two big emotional areas that we are fed up with. Okay, so like, just be mindful of that when we have this impulse to react, that you are under the spell of energy right now, and you can tune your energy into whatever you want it to be. If you're feeling like you're threatened or you're vulnerable in any way, then do things that empower your soul, empower yourself. Go work out is a great time to work out. It's a great time to go out there and to make a plan, to make goals, and to really like sit down and make like almost like a daily ritual that you do to achieve these goals. It's really a time that tests your endurance, your determination, and your will to persevere. This is just a very intense month, and I just want you guys to be very self-focused. I know that you have to be very mindful of your ego this month, um, where it gets bruised easily, because our ego um, is part of our physical realm experience, and your ego is very important to maintain, because your ego gets you up in the morning. Your ego, you get dressed in the morning. Your ego is what drives what you eat, what you wear, how you act, how you relate to others. I mean, your ego is a very big part of your sense of self. And so if you're starting to feel threatened or vulnerable or scared, or you start to feel like you're losing power and control over your life, your ego is going to hyperreact to it. It's going to try to get it closer to the middle. So it's going to get rash, and then it's going to go into the middle. So just be mindful of this particular area, because this could have a very intense reaction, because you have to understand the sun in Libra right now is in this very intense quincunx with Uranus in Taurus, which is in retrograde. So we are definitely feeling like our material realm is under fire. It's not stable. It's not steady. You can't make decisions because there's an erraticness to the energy. There's an instability in the energy, and that makes everybody very vulnerable. If you can see some erraticness in your relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions. You can feel like, think of the sun in Libra. We have a lot of discussions about what's fair, what's just, what laws govern and rule over us. Um, is there harmony and balance in this world? Where can we restore harmony and balance? And so these are all things that we're talking about. I think about the United States, how we are assigning a Supreme Court justice. Is this person the right person for the job? Are they fair? Are they just? Can they look at things without a bias or an agenda? Those are things that are coming up right now because the sun is in Libra and it's in this intense quincunx. Those people will delegate over the material realm. They will make decisions every day that have to do with um, power and control. And so those are the things that are tough right now. But understand that you have the right to take back your power any day of the week and say, well, you know what, that's making me feel vulnerable, scared. I'm not feeling like I'm in a good place. I feel like they have too much power. And if you go along with that, then you are going to go down a very intense road journey this week and into this month. If you just say, okay, I know this is going to be a brutal month. I know that we're going to be subjected to a lot of really negative energy. Find ways to empower your life. It's just a suggestion. You do you, but like, I'm personally going to minimize my exposure to the outside world and just focus on myself this month because it's going to be a pretty tough month. Okay, guys, so the very next day that we have to talk about is October 2nd. And October 2nd, Venus moves into Virgo. Now, Venus in Virgo is actually in detriment, which means that Venus doesn't really like being in Virgo because Virgo is analytical and its love becomes analytical, not about the feels, not about pleasure, not about the heart, not about all the good things, all the fertility and abundance and all the wonderful things that Venus loves. No, it's about being a rational, logical person when it comes to love. It's about, do they meet my criteria? I'm making out a list. Do these people tick off everything on my list? And that's not incredibly heart-based. You can become very critical when Venus goes into Libra about your partner. You may look at all the things you want to fix about your partner. You may notice things about your partner that don't seem to fit into your ideals. And then you may become hypercritical of that said person. And this has to do with all your relationships, partnerships, bonds, unions, has to do with money, of course, things you want to attract. So you may notice that you are not exactly attracting the things that you want that make you feel happy and abundant. And it may not be meeting your goals, let's say. So now understand that we still have that whole Sun in Libra thing, quincunx with Uranus and Taurus, which is in retrograde. So triggers come up during these times. So you may be projecting some of your insecurities, some of the things that you are critical about yourself onto others because you notice them in others, because relationships are mirrors, right? So you may start to pick at your partner. Now, I am happy to see that Venus in Virgo, when it starts out its season, is in a beautiful sextile with Mercury in Scorpio. So I love sextiles when you get into Virgo energy because it shows that, you know, we may be able to dive a little deeper past the superficial conversations that you usually have when you have a Venus in Virgo season. You may understand that even though that person doesn't have every one of those qualities, or they may not be ideal in a certain area, they make you feel a certain way, and that way is what you need right now. And it may surpass some of those hypercritical areas that you tend to be in when you get into Virgo energy. I love that there's a beautiful trine with the moon in Aries, Mars in Aries, and Uranus in Taurus. So for some of you, you may be feeling like your partner is really helping you through some really triggering times, some insecure times, some places where you feel vulnerable. They actually build you up and make you feel good in those areas. It's a great balance to this particular season, this particular month. So if some of you have been building support systems, relationships, bonds, partnerships, or unions of any kind, you may be noticing that right now you couldn't live without these people. Not technically. You need them. They may not be perfect. They may not be your ideal. They may not be the one for you. Doesn't matter. They're getting you through a tough time right now, and you're understanding it for what it is. You are in the moment. So Aries energy is in the moment. It's very what you need right now kind of energy. So you may be very aware that this works for now. It doesn't mean it's going to work, 6 months from now, but it's definitely going to get you by those feelings of insecurity right now. So I find October 2nd, Friday, to be a very good day for most people. Okay, guys, the very next day we're going to talk about is Saturday. That's October 3rd. So we have Pluto in Capricorn, which is in retrograde. Next day it actually goes direct, by the way, and a quincunx with the North Node in Gemini. Let's talk a little bit about that because Plutonian energy is very specific. It is the area where we experience fears, where we have our shadows and our darkness. It's where we transform and grow the most in our physical lifetime. But it's also the place where we are the weakest and can absolutely destroy us. It's the destructor of the universe. I mean, nothing gets by. This is where there's, the mask is revealed, or you can wear a mask. But the truth always lies in Plutonian energy. So Pluto, which is in Capricorn, which is in retrograde, it's where our triggers are. It's where our fears are. It's where we get activated, where we haven't worked through things. It's the area in our life that where our little inner child lives, and where if we get triggered, we start to feel unsafe. That little inner child starts to feel unsafe. We start to act very strange. We're not exactly conscious of this area of our lives, but we do know that it is a place where you will grow the most. So I always think of the Phoenix rising comes from this area. I think of this is where we go from a chrysalis to a butterfly to flying and becoming free in this part of our lives. This is also where if you enter the crone stage of your life, or you enter the later years in your life, this is where you are going to see the most growth. And that is why you see people that are kind of like past 45, you start to see who they really are, what life really morphed them into. And that is where you see like a lot of people's fetishes and, I don't know, their little hidden secrets and everything. They start to have to confront and deal with them. And some people start to succumb to those fetishes, and they start to live kind of in their dark world. But it's also a place where some of us see the most growth and most progression in our lives. Well, here we are. We're looking at Pluto and Capricorn. So this is a place where power exists, where we lose our power, where we maintain power, where we give power away. It's a place where we also empower ourselves. But it's in a quincunx with the North Node in Gemini. So if you have been untrue to yourself, untrue to others, if people have lied or deceived you or did anything to you, you visit it when we see these quincunxes. Quincunxes are tough energy. It's an energy that's, to me, much worse to feel than a square. It's a soft aspect in astrology. It doesn't matter. I never feel it as a soft aspect. I feel it as a hardcore, in my face, absolute shove off the cliff kind of feeling. I never like seeing a quincunx in energy, but not when it's exact with our North Node. Meaning, if you have been veering off your path and of authenticity, if you have been under the spell of somebody, or if you have been under the control of somebody, you may get a very harsh reality check come this energy, come toward the end of the week. But it's also a place where we're going to see a lot of negative news come out. We're going to see a lot of things said, and it's going to evoke a certain specific type of reaction in you, because this energy is in a square with Mars in Aries, which is in retrograde. So again, a place where we start to feel vulnerable, where we don't have complete control over, where we haven't mastered this particular area of our lives, where we are forming into a new sense of self. We're identifying it. And for some of us, and most of us, we're so stubborn that we have to be forced to see this part of ourselves. We have to be forced to confront this truth about ourselves. And and it's in our faces a little bit. So it could just be a very harsh sense of reality. So positive energy in this particular day, Neptune in Pisces, which is in retrograde, is sextiling this event. So this isn't a place where we have to lose power and we have to accept it for what it is. It's a place where we can magically transform it, where we can evoke, where we can manifest from. We don't have to accept this as our reality. We can simply change it. We can paint a new future. We can envision and become something different in this area in our lives. It's a place that we have to deal with. It's a place where we can create an ideal outcome in if we really want to, but we have to be able to first accept this truth in our lives. Okay, guys, we are finally on to next Sunday, and it is going to be the day of October 4th, and we are going to be discussing Pluto in Capricorn. It goes direct today, and Pluto in Capricorn going direct, as I've already stated, is about empowering this part of your life where we tend to lose power. It's literally the phoenix rising energy. It's your ability to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and persevere and keep going and stay determined, because you can conquer this part of your life. Now, externally, this is a lot of talk about the direction that we are going to be going globally, on very important subjects such as, earthly things, so tangible things. So it really does have to do with a lot with global warming, about, how we treat our earth. It has a lot to do with things that are way down the line. So we're looking way down the line and we're saying, is this good for our country? Is this good for our planet? Is this good for our world, relationships? I mean, it's a lot of conversations. And so it's really hard to separate your sense of self, because, we have this square that's in Aries, that's in retrograde. Our sense of self from either ways that we were imprinted, meaning if you had specific political points of views, and they were imprinted young in your life, and you grew up in a specific family, say your family was completely Republican, and so you grew up with a political viewpoint, it's going to challenge that viewpoint. Do you still align with that particular political party, or that particular political point of view? Or are you morphing and changing in some way? Are you becoming more progressive in your thinking? Or are you really holding on to the way that it was imprinted upon you and you identified as part of you? Some of us, some of the conversations that I noticed that are really interesting when we're talking about all this Plutonian and Jupiter and Saturn energy having to do with Capricorn energy, is some of us could have been lifelong Republicans, let's say, and you're just not agreeing with the Republican Party anymore. So for the first time ever, you may be being more liberal minded, or you may be being more, it may be the lesser of two evils, and you're like, well, I don't want that person in office, so I'm gonna have to choose a Democrat. It could be the other way around. You're like, I don't like a Democratic point of view anymore. I think they're too lax, they're too lazy with certain policies, law and order and those sorts of things. So I'm going to be voting Republican. In other countries, I'm seeing transitions in power as well. I mean, this is all over the world. This isn't just an American-based conversation, even though we're very focused on ourselves. I mean, there is a global power and control issues right now. And it's really hard to focus on our sense of self. I know that every time I want to pull myself up into my forefront and deal with things that have to do with empowering my life, I feel like the external world likes to siphon away that energy and direct it onto their own agendas, because that's how they have power over the masses. So these are kind of conversations that are very dynamic, multifaceted, and we are going to be dealing with these issues for a very long time. What is important for us to deal with when Pluto in Capricorn starts to go direct is the fact Jupiter in Capricorn is direct and Saturn in Capricorn is direct. These are moving forward with these power and control issues that either siphon our power, or a place where we have to empower ourselves, or a place where we're going to give away our power and we're going to collaborate and we're going to become more collective, and we're going to unite our power and become a voice, a worldwide voice, a statewide voice, or a global issue voice. Or maybe we're going to protest and we're going to stand up and we're going to fight for a particular collective opinion. Whether or not you agree with any of these topics, they're happening. And it is part of the conversation that will continue to go on for a very long time, as these 3 planets are really pushing us to make changes, progressive changes. What will not withstand this power, let's say it, what will not, here, let me do this. What will not what will fall apart and will disintegrate is weaknesses in these particular conversations, is where our foundations aren't strong, where we are doing things that are not going to help our planet be strong and maintain our natural resources. And if you just look at the fact that a street can charge a car, right? An electric car, we won't need our fossil fuels anymore. And we're resisting it. We're resisting it because that's the way it's always been. But you have to understand that is not the way of the future. We are going to have clean energy, whether we want it or not. It's going to happen. And whether or not you agree with green energy, it doesn't even matter, because those are conversations that are coming to the forefront. We're discussing them. Whether you agree or disagree with them, you have a voice, you have a perspective. And so it's a tough time to completely focus on yourself and identify what you need to do to stay in power when so many things need us to be part of a collaboration, be part of a collective opinion, and to stand up for ourselves and not be that 1% anymore, where we're in the lower 1%, where we have no voice and we have no power over our choices. No, we're all going to be fighting to have a power and control. It's a tough conversation, and it's one that I personally have a lot of conflict with because it's exhausting. Are any of you feeling exhausted and just mentally overwhelmed, and you feel vulnerable and you feel frustrated and you feel like you act out, you try to reclaim some of your power, but it just seems like it's one thing after another that takes away our power and takes away our ability to control our own lives and our own existence and have in our own little universe that everything revolves around in our particular individual universe. It's tough. And you guys are going to have to help me stay strong through it, because when I look at astrology, it's rough to face and be confronted with the truth to that degree, because I know what's coming. I mean, I know what's coming and I know where we're going, and it's tough because I'm older, and so I really miss my comfort zones. But we're in this together, and we're just going to keep persevering. We're going to find ways to positively initiate our energy and focus our energy on what is good and what will empower our lives, instead of everything that's just a succubus taking away our power right now. If you guys are here for the astrology portion, thank you so much for tuning in. And I just want you to go out there and be the change that you want to see in the world. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Hi guys, this is Annette with Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday I put out a video to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead, and you guys picked pile number 1. Pile number 1 is the Hermit card, and this is from the Wizard's Tarot, which I will be showing on my channel if you guys want to see the rest of the deck. It's under Witches and Wizard's Tarot. It'll be this week. So we've got a hermit here. It's the number 9. It shows that, it's funny because it has a full moon in the background, which means that he is very instinctual and moving with purpose toward what he's intuitively being guided to discover. It shows that there is a certain amount of, I don't know, like, inner work. This could be a journey that is very self-focused and that you could be a bit of a loner in at this point, or you could just be a bit of a loner right now. This could be a very, I don't know, almost like a secretive thing that you may be dealing with because Mercury is in Scorpio. So for some of you, there could be some thoughts that you're kind of holding back on. And let's see here. Pile number 1. Let's talk a little bit about the tea for the week. Let's see. Career. Maybe some of you are making some career decisions or some decisions based around your future and where you want to be. Maybe you're making like a projection. Maybe some of you are thinking about saving up money and going and doing something that's a little more authentic to you. Maybe you're being guided in that direction. For some of you, you could be getting some highly intuitive messages about the direction you should be going in your life and in your career, especially. It says, grapes, time to go out and have some fun. Maybe not be so much of a hermit. Maybe it's time to come out of being a hermit, out of this elusiveness and this loner type mentality, and starting to include others, because we do have a sun in in Libra, which does say that relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions are something that should be focused on during the month of October. We have the beetle. Oh, good fortune. Man, I'm feeling Jupiter-ish with you. I'm feeling like you guys may be feeling this whole direct, come the 4th of October, Pluto in Capricorn, Jupiter in Capricorn, and Saturn in Capricorn are all direct. Capricorn does have to do with your career, life path, destiny. And so for some of you, there could be some fortunate results that come out of October as you guys start to work on those particular aspects of your life. And then we have hills, obstacles to overcome. Well, this week is definitely a week full of twists and turns. It adds a little bit of drama because we do have a full moon that is going to be in Aries, conjunct with Chiron in Aries. So these could be this very hermity feel. It could be this stuff where you kind of silently suffer, where you kind of, are always, I don't know, like a place where you hide the truth from people about some of the things that you're going through right now. Okay, let's take a look at your animal here. Oh, you have the frog in water energy. So for some of you, this Mercury energy that's in Scorpio is kind of making you in the feels. I definitely get that with this hermit energy. We do have Venus, the hermit is Virgo. So we do have Venus in Virgo, or Venus is moving into Virgo on the 2nd of October. And that can lead you into the murky depths of how you're feeling, can make you want to connect on a more intimate level, on a deeper level with people. Let's read your frog here real quick. Okay, so we got water. Froggy frog. Where's my little froggy? Okay, we have a clearing, cleansing, and healing. The frog and the water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends the first months of its life entirely within this healing element, and it emerges to the rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for a cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it is vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. It's time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. So I like this because I am definitely feeling Venus and Virgo for you. You guys are very in tune with the transitioning energy. And then in the transition of this Venus and Virgo energy that's happening, on the 2nd of October. There's a beautiful sextile. So for some of you, this could be you are just really concentrating on rejuvenating yourself, cleansing yourself, ridding yourself of negativity. You could be focusing on the things that make you feel good versus all this intense energy. Venus in Virgo is considered in detriment when it comes to astrology. So this can tend to make people want to focus on their relationships a little bit more, perfecting them, taking a look at them, and looking at what they appreciate about their partners and what needs work. I'm feeling very good about the transition, the activation and the transition in energy, because it is in a sextile with Mercury in Scorpio. It's trining the moon in Aries, trining Mars in Aries, and trining Uranus in Taurus. So for some of you, you might be able to start getting past some of those things that aren't perfect about your partner. We do tend to hyper-focus on things that aren't perfect and get overly critical with the Venus and Virgo energy. But for some of you, you could be overlooking those things and thinking the connection, the person, the intimate bond that I have with this person, or these people, or my support system, or my friends, or whoever you partner with in some type of way. You may be overlooking those differences, and you may be actually learning from those differences. Here is Soul Card. This is Soul Card 2. I love this card. It's a weird card, but the way that I read it is that it's very authentic. You know what? You're not caught up in body image issues, being sensitive, being withheld because you have sensitivities about the way you look or the way that people perceive you. You're really caught up in this authentic moment where you're really expanding yourself mentally, kind of like in an elevated mind, instead of really focused too much on the material realm. It's like you're looking at the really big picture, and you're really stimulated by the big picture. Oh, lovely. We have 66. I know you shouldn't see an 11, but anytime I see a number like this, I see 11. But 6 and 6 is 12, of course. And then, of course, 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. This can be reduced down to a 3. But any way you look at it, 6 is one of those energies where I feel like we always are in a balance. So if you're trying to balance 2 3s, if you say, whenever I see any kind of dualistic number like this, I always think of balance. And 3s are always about others, not about ourselves, not about our closest relationships, but about the totality of our relationships, or maybe significant relationships, or maybe you're kind of looking at your relationships as a whole. So there's some great healing happening, and with this kind of purpley color, I'm sensing that there's you're awakening to something, you're realizing something. You know, with Pluto and Capricorn going, with Pluto and Capricorn, I can even see a blue in here, to be quite honest. It's almost like a bluish purple, and blue is calming. So maybe some of you are feeling like some of this purpley blue color. But with Pluto going into Capricorn and it going direct, which it does take a while to speed up, and because it's a pretty far off, distant energy, I feel like some of you over time, as you go into October, is going to feel kind of almost like an empowering feeling. I mean, I'm feeling very empowered by your pile. You have some very good energy. So let's take a look at your planets here really quick. I need to put these over here. Okay. I do shuffle these off camera, so I'm not going to spend a long time shuffling, guys, because it would take forever to do these readings if I did that. And they take up forever anyway. Okay. 3. Page of Cups. Upright, we've got Page of Swords in reverse, and we have the 7 of Cups, which is Venus in Scorpio. So definitely I said I was feeling the Venus energy, the Scorpio energy in that card. I'm more or less, let me make sure this is in shot. It is. So I'm going to do this to create some more room. There we go. How's that looking on the camera? Much better, guys? Okay. So beginning, mid, end of week, by end of week, we are starting to really embrace this whole Venus transition. It can make you feel like you have lots of options, lots of choices. There's lots of things to scatter your energy and to cause you to be sensitive to them. So we want to reel those back in. We don't want any negativity seeping into us because we're going to be absolutely inundated with negativity. We do have the Page of Swords here in reverse, which means your mind is going to hear a lot of things. You're going to absorb a lot of things in your external environment that are going to be very hard to heal. I mean, hard to hear. 1 second here. Hi, honey. I'm doing video stuff now. Sorry, come back later. Okay? I'll see you later. She's so damn cute. She's so cute. Okay. Sorry about that. It was my next door neighbor's kids. They want to play. Okay. So just really zero down, guys, the amount of negative energy that you expose yourself to. I mean, you have ultimate power and control over what you are subjected to. So just don't get caught up in all this. I'm sensing the midweek might be a little bit cray-cray. We do have a full moon that's going to be in Aries. It's going to be in a very difficult aspect with Jupiter in Capricorn, which means if you feel vulnerable or angry, which I'm feeling like you guys are going to be more on the secluded side of things, shielding yourself, you're going to want to just lock the world out, and you're really going to be focusing on what's important. We have the Page of Cups here. This is learning how to keep your cup full, learning how to remain emotionally abundant. And it's a skill that you're learning. So it's almost like you're learning how to create a valve through all this negative energy, because there's just so much of it out there, just hitting us hard, to be quite honest with you. So let's go ahead and start looking at the light here. Our light working energy. I love my fluff cards. This is my hug. It's my hug for hearing some bad energy out there. Your hug is serious. Okay. All right. We did get the Page of Cups again, even midweek. Okay. Okay. One of the things I can see, okay, so if you look at these 3 cards, it is, don't look back in the past. Let's stay forward focused. We are having a lot of major energy, external energy, guiding us to move forward. So we want to stay away from looking back and having regret. We've been doing that long enough. What's done is done, and there's nothing you can do to change it. So one of the skills that you're going to be learning with this Page of Cups, it looks like beginning of week and end of week, is just learning how to keep yourself in a positive mindset and to be in a state of growth and maturing and rejuvenation, kind of like this frog. It's like you're going to understand that you're drying out and you're going to run and find a water source, and it's going to be the only thing that's important to you. So look at it that way. If you feel like you're starting to get emotionally overwhelmed, if your thoughts are too loud and you're not having any peace, it's a time to frog out. It's a time to just check out, go to your Hermitville and just take a time out from the world. It's a really toxic external environment right now. So just be mindful of that, because we still have the 4 of Cups toward end of week. We've got a lot of confusion with the 7 of Cups. It's a time to maybe find a new way to process your environment, find new skills that allow you to stay mentally empowered. You've got to look at things from an entirely different perspective. You've got to look at ways to maintain your power differently than your old coping methods, okay? That would be definitely a Venus and Virgo thing. Okay, guys, let's take a look at this one. Okay, we have family. Family, your relationships, bonds, partnerships, and unions. Friendships are family for some people. Your workplace can be family for some people, and your actual physical circle, your family, could be your family, that you feel like they understand you, you feel like they get you, you feel like they love you for who you are. You can be vulnerable, you can be weak, you could be strong, you could be anything, and they're accepting. So your people, per se, because of the sun in Libra, is going to be very vital. Just making sure everything is in. Let's do this really quick so that I can make sure that you see everything. Sorry. It's a very intense week, guys. I want you guys to understand that you guys are going to have to develop skills to stay in a positive mindset. Because boy, everybody's agenda is to put you into fear right now. Doesn't matter what side of the political coin you're on. Ooh, witch, justice is coming. For some of you, this sun in Libra energy is asking you that very important question. You know, is it fair right now? You're feeling like you are powerless and things just aren't fair. That can play with your head and make you crazy. So just know that, you know, there is karmic justice, and we don't have to get caught up in how we want things to go and that instantaneous retribution that we want. Like there will be retribution, there will be an effect, a cause and effect that will happen whether or not you get spun up or not on it, right? Scrying and intuition. Scrying is like intention. It's like setting intention and writing it down and creating an image, and then taking a physical action to enforce that intention. If you don't believe in scrying and you think it's something that's bad, then look at it as writing down in your journal and reciting a mantra, or in yoga and in meditation, envisioning it. Scrying can be lots of things. It doesn't have to be this spooky thing. I used to just have so many preconceived notions about habits and rituals that people do that I just don't think are real anymore. Invocation, evoking a ritual. So one thing that's really crazy right now is Venus in Virgo. It's all about rituals that Venus and Virgos do. They like to make habits, and they like to create positivity, and they like to, if they create a habit, like if they make a ritual around their day, like for instance, I have a ritual where I have a journal. I have 4 cups. I put a star on each cup. I've drank 4 cups of water. That's a ritual. I do it every single day. And it evokes empowerment, right? It makes me feel like I'm doing something positive every day. And if I my whole journal is filled up with daily rituals. And if I get a star for all my rituals, I look on them, there's a bunch of sparkly stars. To me, that just makes me feel empowered. So do things that add power to your situation. We have Rue, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about that. So let's get that deck out, or that book. And this one is the Gateway to the Luminal Spirits, which I totally love. It's teaching me a lot about being open-minded and not being so close-minded off from, I just grew up a very specific way. Sorry, I'm looking for it in here. I really wish that these books put these things in alphabetical order, but they don't. I have no understanding why. I've tried to figure out why they chose their order, but they don't say. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Ruda, whatever. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that word. Is it still in focus? Okay. Has a long-standing reputation as an herb capable of reversing or breaking spells that are manipulative or harmful. It is used to banish negative energy, to aid in protection, for purification, and to clear ritual tools and other objects. In this card, we can see the shape of the Cimaruta Italian fort. Like, I'm going to know Italian, why not? sprig of rue, and a symbolic charm against the eye of evil. The plant itself should be handled with caution to avoid skin irritation. This is a bitter flavor and may explain its link to the verb rue as a connection with regret, perhaps, because if you don't respect the plant or those who use it, regret will find you. Okay, so what does that mean? To me, you'll regret not making positive coping methods and changes and creating rituals that empower you, and like, you have more power than you think. And I think this world likes to make us believe that we don't have any way to control our outcomes. You know, if you've ever watched the movie The Secret, I do believe in manifesting something through the power of thinking. Oh, sorry, I gotta go over here because in these books now I have, sorry, I'm gonna grab this one in particular. There we go. Sorry, I like to be on this side. Okay, guys. So we're just gonna go ahead and dig, get our little charms out. Oh, okay. Well, something came out that I don't like seeing. Okay. So we have the U.S. Marshal. I'm just thinking about all the civil unrest, all the issues regarding law enforcement, the abuse of power. That definitely looks like it's going to be more of that this week. Sorry about that. Never, never give up, right? Never stop believing in something magical. Never stop believing that you have the power to control your outcome. Never stop believing that you have power. Never give over your power to other people to make your choices for you, because they will abuse that power. We have a star. So anytime anybody gets a star in my readings of any kind, you get to wish. Wish upon a star. Wish to the heavens. Wish for something that seems like it would never happen in a million years, as big as the cosmos. And really like work on evoking that in your heart. Glasses are really seeing things for what they are. It is the veil being, it's like when I put my glasses on, I go from being blurry-eyed to being crystal clear. That's why I see glasses. And this is just so funny. It's like a little toilet plunger brush. And it's like, just clean up the crap in your life. Just clean. Just anytime you clear or clean or cleanse, and we talked a lot about that with this little guy and with some of this stuff over here. Anytime you cleanse, you basically free that energy up for something positive. If you have just dirty old energy in your house, to be quite honest with you, that's what you stay stagnant in. Okay, so we have this little King of Hearts here, which is just King of Cups. So that is being somebody who's very mindful of their emotions, doesn't allow their emotions to control them, and owns them and uses those emotions to remain in power. They're very intuitive and they embrace their emotional self. They don't hide, they don't bury themselves, their emotions. And this right here, aw, I see what it is. It's a little flower. I see the wilting of this flower. I think that some of us have been feeling very wilty, and it's been a tough journey for some of us. And if you're feeling a little wilted, weathered, maybe you need to do some rejuvenation. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm gonna dig deep. Okay, let's see what our words are for the day. Okay. We all know that the first word I see is usually my most empowered word. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. Like, oh my God. Okay. Here's your guys' big word, or the first one that I could put together. Mouth. Watch your mouth. Understand that words have consequences. Words are weapons. Words are things that you put out into the world and you can never retrieve. Words are probably some of the most powerful tools that we use because our fists are temporary. A gun is temporary. Like things that we do to abuse power, those are temporary. Words, I feel like people don't realize how important words are, just in a conversation, but also as a form of repercussion or as a form of learning. I mean, just watch your mouth because, oh my God, we have a full moon in Aries in the square with Jupiter. People are going to say things and do things, and they're going to get mouthy, and they're going to blurt, and they're going to try to use their words to create fear and take their power away from other people. Like, it's just toxic. Aw, I love this, guys. Look, we have love. Love is in the air. Venus and Virgos, they love love. They usually have a hard time with love because they always attract people that they've got to take care of, but they really do love love. But be careful of your but conversations. So this person is amazing, but this quality, that's a very Venus and Virgo-y. You know that you're getting in the negative aspects of being a Venus and Virgo when you are starting to exclude things from a totality of a person. Let's see if I can think of any. I see Jet getting away, wanting to get away. This Hermit. I see, oh, okay. I see things foggy, confusing. It could be hard to understand what is truth and what is somebody else's agenda. Is this true? Let me see if I can. Oh, I don't have two L's. Oh, I don't have an A. Ooh, out was just literally right there, guys. Out. Shutting out, closing out, blocking out. These are words that may be something that comes to mind for some of you. I saw tube. So I think of tube. I think of a tunnel vision. I think of being very focused on something, almost excluding other opinions and different ways of looking at things. Okay, and let's go ahead and get numbers. Okay, guys, we have 24, 31, 4, 9, 6. We did have a 6 up there, 66 and 6. We have a 3 and a 1. So again, many, your relationships versus your sense of self. Your sense of self is represented here with 8, and 8 is just like one of those things where I think of changing. I think of elevating your status. 8's also balance. To me, 2 is a sense of balance too. And then a 3 and a 1 can be balancing the perceptions of others with your perception of yourself, like being very focused on, being authentic to yourself. And then we have this final little guy here, and it's the moon. And you have the black cat. So this is definitely a full moon in Virgo. A full moon in Aries. Conjunct this Chiron in Aries, which is opposed by the sun in Libra. Be open to the perceptions of others, places you need to improve, places that you need to become a better person, places where you could use some growth. Don't just look through tunnel vision and look at your own perspective. Try to look through the eyes of other people. And more importantly, don't try to take away the powers of others because you're vulnerable or insecure right now. Be mindful of the fact that others may need to be propped up and empowered by you, and this may not be about you. It may be empowering others right now. Those are some of the things that could come up from this full moon in Aries. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching. Much love to all of you. Now just go out there and be the change you want to see in the world for positive. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. This is Annette with Sun to Shine Astrology and Tarot, and welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Every Sunday, I put a video out to help you prepare your energy for the week ahead. And we have a very crazy week, guys. We have the Saturn, which is in Capricorn. It's going direct on the 28th. We have the full moon in Aries. It's going to be on the 1st. We have Venus moving into Virgo on the 2nd. We have Pluto in Capricorn, which is in retrograde, and in exact quincunx with the North Node in Gemini. That's on the 3rd. And on the 4th of October, we have Pluto in Capricorn, which is going to go direct, conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn, which is direct, and Saturn in Capricorn, which is direct. We have 2 full moons in the month of October, which means that we have a blue moon this month. So we have a ton of stuff going on. So you guys picked pile number 2. And pile number 2, you guys chose the Lovers. So looking at the colors in this card, we have a gold behind the masculine energy. And this is the Wizard's Tarot. We have the gold, which means enthusiasm and opportunity and light and energy. And then we have the green, which is usually fortune, luck. It can be money. It could be financial. You could find that you are starting to look at a partnership based on like a united front, where you guys are like the yin and yang to each other, where this person seems much more grounded and earthly and just, kind of like attached to the material realm. This person seems much more energetic and ethereal and action oriented, and this person is grounded. So if you can see the duality or the duplicity in these two, this union, it is true that opposites usually do attract. The Lovers card is quite beautiful in this deck. Okay, let's see your guys' tea for the week. What is going on with you guys? Love. Wow, you got the Lovers and love. That's crazy. Isn't that cool? Sorry, I never look at these. I turn them over and they're done on, with them face down. So I never see what they are until I'm with you, which is fun. But it's also very surprising that we have the Lovers card in love. So we have Venus, which is the planet that rules love, moving into Virgo. It is in a sextile with Mercury and Scorpio. It's trining the moon in Aries, trining Mars in Aries, and trining Uranus and Taurus. So you guys may be very energized by this feeling of partnerships, bonds, and unions of any kind. And also sometimes when we see the Lovers card, because we have this full moon in Aries, people are going to be mirroring their perception. How do I say this? The way that you perceive yourself is often different than the way that others perceive you. So you may be facing that mirror come this week. Okay, we have a wall, misunderstanding. So as I said before, relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions, especially the ones you love, may be perceiving you not as you see yourself. And that could be, we have this square that's in Jupiter and Capricorn, this full moon. So maybe there's something about you that you need to be a little bit more realistic about, and you need to be honest and truthful with yourself about. We have Scissors, disappointment of some affair. If some of you guys are used to relationships, partnerships, bonds, or unions that just kind of tell you what you want to hear, you might be surprised when they actually tell you something truthful that they perceive about you that you don't exactly agree with. That can absolutely come up in an action-packed week like this. It's about people taking back their power. If they're in abusive relationships, it's about getting equal ground. It's about saying the things that you've always wanted to say. It's about transforming those relationships. So it could be a little disappointing if you didn't see that stuff coming. Horseshoe, that suggests good luck. So Jupiter is direct. We have Saturn, which is in Capricorn, which is direct, and Pluto will become direct. So for some of you looking to take back the power in your life, to enrich your life with lots of love and honest, truthful relationships that build you up, you will find this time very energizing. The octopus, I know this guy well. It's a water energy. We do have Mercury, which is in Scorpio, squaring off with this Saturn in Capricorn going direct. So the one thing that I want you to be mindful of, and how deep octopuses truly live, but how clever they are and how responsive they are, and they can be somewhat manipulative because they can be somewhat subdued in their size, but they can kind of posture themselves up to make themselves look a little scarier than they are. I'm feeling a lot of false representation. I'm feeling like busybody energy. I'm feeling like a tendril in kind of everybody's business. So somebody may be up in your business, or you may be up in people's business, or you may just be seeking tons of resources, hearing lots of negative things, lots of negative energy, and it could be impacting you on a very deep level. Just be very mindful of your energy, and also how you impact others. If you get into a negative headspace, do you impose that onto others? Okay, wow. We have another card where I see others. I see you. This could be as much as spirit, where you're looking up and you're trying to be as authentic as possible, lift yourself up from the material realm and being a much more elevated being about your existence. That's definitely something I perceive in this card. But the other thing, because this is soul cards 2. But also what I see is you could be looking up to somebody. Somebody could be a role model for you, somebody who is much better at something than you are. That may be somebody that you're building your relationship with over there. It could be somebody that you love very much and that you respect very much, and so you are putting them up on somewhat of a pedestal. I can see that in this card. I also see this as like when we put people up on a pedestal as if they're some sort of subhuman, as if they're some sort of guiding light, but they're just a human. They're a human being with human weaknesses and human strengths. Be careful not to put somebody up on a pedestal so you don't get disappointed over there. We have another 7 and 7. For some reason, even though this doesn't ever reduce down to an 11, I always see an 11, and I do see it as a spiritual number. But this 7 is spirituality. You're looking for a divine answer. You're looking for something more. The purple is an awakening and an awareness. But this is just looking for answers outside of the typical resources. So you may be, because of this, I'm sensing a lot of reaching for spirituality, reaching for a source that gives you peace of mind, other than like physically tangible. Okay, guys, so let's take it. I do shuffle these off camera, just an FYI. But I just do this so that I show you, oops, my bad. I never take the ones that fall out. That's just my way of doing this. Okay, so we have 3. I divide into 3 piles. This is beginning of the week, end of the week, or midweek, end of the week. So we have the Palace of Swords. This just is, to me, when I see Palace of Swords, I think of the mind, of the way that you process things, the way that you deal with things. Let's do this. I make sure all these get in the shot. And see how that looks. Okay. This is Judgment. It is in reverse, which means you could be basing a lot of your opinions about yourself, like giving your power to other people by taking their opinions about you and internalizing them and letting it define you. You may be having some sort of identity issue where you are not seeing things properly. Maybe you've heard a lot of negative things about you. Maybe they were imprinted from a childhood, and then, you know, throughout your life, you've heard some negative things, so the only way that you think about yourself is negatively. Or vice versa. Maybe you were an only child and you were spoiled, and so everybody made you believe that you were the center of the universe, and as you're going along, you're finding out that you're not. But to me, it just suggests that judgments, or you may be misjudging in a situation. You may be looking from a very narrow perspective, self-focused, you know, unable to reach for other perspectives. And then we have the Seven of Wands. It's Leo and Mars and Leo. Maybe some of you are just exhausted from the fight, from all the information, from all the adversity, from all the trauma, from all the negativity toward the end of the week. You know, all this octopus stuff, like there's so much that's kind of draining your power. And that's totally understandable, guys. And then we're going to look at some light here. Let's talk about some of the light that's going to go on this week. Because we can always turn energy around. We don't have to accept energy for what it is. Love seeing Temperance. Six of Wands, love the victory. Nine of Swords, okay. This is just mental rhetoric right there, I see, in the week. We've got our Ten of Swords. We've got our Ace of Cups. Okay, let's talk about these cards because these are really important. Okay. Palace of Swords is the place where the sources we seek knowledge from, the place where we trust as a resource for our mind. You want to be mindful that there is some balance in it. It's like maybe you don't like, let's say you're an American and you don't like Trump. So all you do is listen to MSNBC and CNN. I can guarantee you they're skewing the facts and the agenda is toxic as well. So just don't be so stuck in a particular mindset that you can't open yourself up to different perspectives. And that is what Temperance is all about, is the balance. It's the yin and the yang. It's the sun and the moon. It's to be temperate with yourself. If you are feeling mentally overwhelmed and your mind is a place of havoc and it's there's a lot of rhetoric and thoughts that are uneasy. Another thing, you need to concentrate on your victories, your small victories throughout your day and throughout your week. You need to hold those up and be proud of those small victories. And don't get caught up in those long-term goals right now. I think that this is a great time to be a little bit more shallow with your thinking and just get caught up in day-to-day small victories. And that's your beginning of your week. Midweek, it looks like we're getting a little overly critical. It looks like we have a lot of negative thoughts. It looks like we are pessimistic about our future come midweek. And we do have Venus in Virgo, Venus moving into Virgo, which is technically in detriment. And so we can tend to be overly critical about our futures, about hope, about our dreams, about the way that everything is going to go down. We may be getting scared. We may be filling our heads with complete and utter nonsense. And you may be doing that octopus again. So get out of your head. Remember, and seek relationships that help you maintain balance and equilibrium. Don't just go with those 100% like-minded people. Try to seek out relationships that can oppose you, because those people help pull you down and ground you a little bit, especially if you get spun up. Like if you go to people, like sorry, I'm screwing with the microphone. Say you just don't like Biden, President Biden in America. Say you think he's a wuss. You know, you don't think he's going to have what it takes to fight the world and to put everything back together. Say he's just not the right guy for the job. you're going to go out and seek people who don't like Biden and who have nothing but bad things to say about Biden to validate your feelings. Don't do that, especially this week. It can fill your head with lots of pessimistic points of view and make you feel like we don't have hope for the future, okay? All right, so we have toward the end of the week, you're exhausted. You need to let it go. You need downtime. You need to walk away. You need to kind of go a little, I'm feeling like you're listening too much to other people come beginning of week, midweek, by end of week, you need some alone time. You've absorbed a lot of negativity and you need to get in touch with what really matters. And this may lead you on that spiritual type mentality. Okay, I'm going to put this stuff over here, to be honest. Getting winded because of glorious COVID. I don't have a lot of breath lately. Been struggling with asthma, which I never had before COVID, but that's okay. It's what it is. All right. Okay, guys. We have compassion. Aww. I want you in particular to be very loving and compassionate with yourself. This full moon is going to be tough on you. So if you can do anything that I say, self-care and doing things for others where you are helping others through a tough time can make you feel really good about yourself. It's a great time to be very loving and compassionate with those less fortunate. I can't think of a better time actually to do stuff like that. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt. Yeah, rhetoric, negative opinions. People who have these really pessimistic points of view. You know what? You need to pull back and you need to look at it for what it is. And if that makes people have a bad opinion of you, so what? If they think that you're, a big jerk because you're pulling away from them because they're too negative to be around, okay, let it be. But you deserve to have more sugar, more positive, more fun in your life, and you need to not stop getting all caught up in other people's agenda because the people are toxic right now, to be honest. We have winter, the sacredness of pausing. I love this so much. Winter to me is a time when our bodies downshift. We like to sleep more, we stay in more, we make some comfort foods, we like to do activities that are really nurturing and allow us to relax. It's because if you use your energy with the seasons, so spring, you spring forth. You do things that help you grow and bloom and be in the spotlight. You know what I mean? You get yourself out there. Come summer, you are having a good time, action-oriented, going out, doing things that you enjoy, making your soul shine. By fall, you shed things that you absorbed throughout the year that were disappointments or negative things or things that, took a lot of your energy that no longer serve you. By winter, you are kind of in a hibernating mode. So just think of this brief point this week as maybe you're going to need some time for yourself. You're going to need to hibernate, go inward. Even though you got the Lover's card, then it needs to be with people that will allow you that comfort feeling of being totally accepted. Okay, we have imagination, air energy. Well, you got the Gemini card. That is air. We have a North Node in Gemini going to be in this quincunx with Pluto and Capricorn. So imagination is what it's going to take because that is where Neptune and Pisces is in a sweet but sextile on the 3rd. So get imaginative. Think of things as they are not. Fantasize about their and more hopeful outcomes. Don't get critical and pessimistic and think we have no hope of ever making it through this time in our lives. We have the walnut. I really like the walnut energy. I'm going to read that to you. It's really I love walnuts. I mean, it's like one of my favorite nuts. I have a sensitivity though to nuts. A little one. Doesn't matter. I eat them because I'm gonna. Whoops, I got the totally wrong book. Here, this is the book we wanted. Sorry. Nobody accused me of being brilliant. The walnut. Okay. The walnut is associated with protection, love, dreams, inspiration, and intelligence, as well as containing cleansing and banishing energies. In Italian town of Benevento, sorry if I said that wrong, there was said to be a huge walnut tree where witches would gather to celebrate their rites and work magic. The chemical attributes of the walnut leaves and fruits dissuade other plants from growing underneath its canopy, which gives it an otherworldly or even sinister nature. It is a nurturing nut, bears an uncanny resemblance to the brain when whole, and it looks like the heart or the face of an owl when it is split open. See that? It kind of does look like an owl. And you know what? It does look like a brain. Isn't that weird? I never thought of it like that. So I just think of being incredibly grounded. I think you need to understand that if you absorb a certain level of toxicity, that it makes you barren as a person. Because I think of like nothing can grow under a walnut tree because the leaves are toxic. That's the way the energy is. You can't grow in toxic energy and flourish. So just be mindful of that when you're out there absorbing whatever crap is in the world wanting to impose their agendas on you. And then we have loyalty. You know, it's funny because I think of this. This just made me think of something. So I've had friends that were we've been loyal friends, right? I've considered them, I would be their friend, they would be my friend through thick and thin. Our relationship would never change. The thing with these types of friendships is you can be loyal to the wrong thing. You know what? Do I even have her book? I don't actually know who Stevie Ray is. Let's see. I don't know if it's the character from her book or if it's a deity. So you may have chosen the symbol of loyalty, and this means that you are being called to stand up for who and what you believe in. Do you know the story of beautiful red vampire who saw the good in others and remained steadfast in her love against all odds? Loyalty is tested at times, and you may be asked to assess whether others deserve your loyalty. Sometimes you find yourself in a position where it is difficult to speak up for another person, a cause, or even yourself. Now is the time to be faithful to your best qualities and to leave the rest behind. This is a true test of character. I know you will choose rightly. Stand up for what you believe to be loyal, only to what you believe to be true and good. So I was right. I just want to make sure, because I'm like, if she's some deity, I don't understand. So here's the thing. There are times when we are loyal to people based on them either being in our lives forever or us trying to be in a relationship with them, even if they're toxic, like we'll still be their friend. I feel like those people might be a bit negative for you right now. They might be a little bit on the toxic side. It's just an FYI. Here, I'm gonna get tea. Okay, that's what I felt. All right, so let's take a look here. An umbrella, but that is not open. It's a closed. So this is something you bring in case of emergency. This is something that you have as a backup, something that you use to shield your energy. I don't know if you guys have like things that help you, or techniques or rituals or routines that you do to help shield your energy, but this is a shield away from especially emotional situations because of rain. We do have the Pisces, so I was feeling the vibe of Neptune and Pisces for you in this sextile with Pluto and Capricorn in the North Node in this quincunx, but we have this lovely sextile with Pluto and Neptune and Pisces. Pisces energy is really positive for you. You almost have to step outside of the reality. Don't accept your reality or the way that they are saying that reality is going to turn out. Like, you have to be hopeful about our outcome. You got the you got the Lovers again. This is a really tiny one, so it's hard to see. And it was screwing up my focus going in and out, so I don't do that no more. But this is the Lovers card, and you got the Lovers card, so it's reinforcing relationships, partnerships, bonds, and unions, the Sun and Libra thing we've got going on. It's going to be really important for you, especially during the opposition of the full moon. Oh, we have a quarter. So I always think of money, what we value, who we value, why we value it comes up when I see money in my reading. Where's the date on this? Not crazy. Oh, 1999. Funny, this is like right before we hit 2000. Remember how everybody was being all doomsday about the millennial, like going to the year 2000, how all the computers were going to shut down, and it was the satellites were going to go down, and it was like all this crazy crap. That was such crap. We were fine. So see, that's like some of that stuff where they may be piping it out to be all doomsday-ish when really, honestly, it turns out fine. You know what I'm saying? So whenever I see a crown, I think of awareness and awakening, the crown chakra. I also think of the tower and the crown and that moment where you kind of have a realization. Also, the crown can just be that you are very important to you. You are very focused on you and find value in yourself. And then we have the kitty cat, the black cat, which is so perfect for Halloween-y time. So guys, your little black kitty cat is just saying, hey, be you, do you. Be excited about you. This little cat's happy. But it also means instincts. And do you know one of the things I hate about black cats? They're the last ones to get adopted in the shelters because people have these weird superstitions around black cats, so nobody will go out and get black cats. So they always do these huge pushes for somebody to like actually adopt a black cat because they're the ones that are the strongest killed in shelters. And that's because of some stupid superstition that somebody made up a really long time ago about black cats crossing your path. This is, again, some of the stuff that is like, it's just rhetoric. It's like stuff people make up. I don't know, because we all have our weird superstitions and our belief systems and our rituals that we think make us safe, our false sense of securities. So, yeah, digging deep, guys. Okay. All right, let's see what, I love that. You know, it totally irritates me that this guy out here will like, you know, just build his fences right out here at the apartments. So tent. To me, again, that's a shelter. That's a getting away. That's a portable shelter. That's a, I want to get the heck out of Dodge and I'm just going to pop a tent. I'm going to be on my own. I feel very hermity. I feel like pile number 1 would be good for you to listen to too. I don't know why I saw this, but I just saw like Oct and I thought of October, but it doesn't spell out October, so I don't know if you guys like see that the way I do, but let's see. You have a ton of things on your mind, a ton of worries maybe. It can feel, the energy may feel like a ton weighted on you, you know, like a heavy feeling. I don't know why. Soy, maybe some of you are into tofu or like healthy living or soy milk or like things that are like alternatives. Those could be something that you're thinking about. I think of TNT, dynamite. I don't know why, but TNT is I'm gonna explode. That could be the full moon that's gonna be in Aries, dudes. Like squaring off this Jupiter, it's going to expand anything where you have a difficulty maintaining power where you feel like somebody's taking away your power, you feel like things aren't fair, you feel like things, like somebody is trying to control you, it will be TNT for sure. And let's see if I see anything else. I see a set. So a set, a preconceived, like a set of values, a set of rules, a set of regulations, like a set of things, like a criteria. Let's I don't know why I see that, but I do. And let's go ahead and look at our numbers. What numbers do we have? Okay, so I see 13 and 14 here. Sorry about that. The guy next door is like, I don't know if you guys can hear the saw, but it's so freaking ass annoying me right now. But whatever. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really deeply appreciate you taking the time today. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. This is a power-packed week, so just be very mindful to take care of you. And I just want you to go out there and to be the change you want to see in the world, the positive change. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Annette with Self-Care Sunday. Hey guys, pile number 3. So I'm a life path 3. I totally always pick 3. So a lot really comes out in 3. So it gets very intense and they're usually the longest ones. So welcome to pile 3. And guess what we got, guys? We got, I'm so sorry, we got the Tower. So let's talk about the Tower, because the Tower image evokes a response. It's like a visceral response to it. I mean, you can feel the energy in this card. This is the Wizard's Tarot. And you can feel the chaotic energy of the lightning. You can feel the burst of energy. You can also feel in this card, a shocking event. You can feel a sudden reality check in this card. That's the way that I view the Tower. It also can just destroy an illusion. That's often the way that I interpret a Tower card. It's just something that you just can't, it's like once it's revealed, you can't unsee it. And so that is the way that I'm looking at this Tower card that you guys chose. I doubt many people chose the Tower card. But so let's look at your guys' tea. You guys are really going to be focused on happiness. And you're like, whoa, Annette, we've got a Tower card, but we've got happiness on the table. These little doves that are always flying in this card with the sun in it. It always tells me that there's a message in the week and there's a delivery of something where you're going to be emphasizing abundance and feeling good and something that's more authentic and soul-based for you, which can make you in general feel happy. So we go through a Tower moment. Think of it like we go through a Tower moment as it's a clearing. It's a restorative energy. It shakes things up, lets us know where the weaknesses are and the cracks are that lies in our foundation so that we can create a strong foundation. So I'm feeling like that might be some of you. So let's take a look here at the rest. We have Cain, pay attention to your health. So maybe some of you are getting a reality check about your health and your lifestyle. Maybe those two things need to be put in check. Maybe your coping methods are starting to get to your physical health and it's time to step back and to stop being like in the self-sabotage mode. Look, in energy like that, the energy that's out in the world, it can be super duper chaotic to feel this type of energy, and it can make you feel like, hopeless to a certain degree, and then we can start to fall into ways that we just try to get immediate gratification. Next card is woman. We have dealings or a relationship with a woman. Maybe a woman is a very significant person in your life. Maybe it's a mother. Maybe it's a memory of a strong mentor. Maybe it is somebody who loved and nurtured you, somebody who loves and nurtures you in your life. It could be your friends, and it could be your boss even, that offers you some really good advice this month, some, I don't know, or especially this week, but somebody who has, makes you feel like life is kind of worth living. We have Carriage, a journey, either physical or mental. Well, aren't we on a journey when we get into this kind of chaotic energy? Look, anytime the Tower card comes in and it gives us that shocking realization, right? The very next thing we do is we go on a journey with ourselves. So the energy I'm personally picking up on is the full moon that's going to be happening in Aries. So let's talk a little bit about this week. On the 28th of September, we have Saturn in Capricorn, conjunct Jupiter in Capricorn, conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. It's going direct. It's in a pretty wicked quincunx with Venus and Leo. So for a lot of people, relationships, bonds, partnerships, and unions are going to be something of a focus this week. We're just seeing if these are the people we want to move forward with. So for some of you, that could be the woman in your life. Then we have a full moon in Aries. It's going to be happening on October 1st. It's going to be conjunct Chiron in Aries. So that has to do with situations or things that we identify with that may not be authentic to our soul's purpose. It may be something where we have like a little bit of vulnerability or weakness, and we're working on strengthening and empowering that part of our life. Jupiter is going to be squaring off with this particular full moon, so that suggests to me it's going to be quite the transition. It's going to be something that hits home, something that you deeply identify with. It's going to expand, and it's going to be focused on. So I'm feeling like with this particular moment, I feel like you guys are getting a realization that may be hard to deal with because it could be very difficult to identify what to do next when we get some really tough news that I think is going to be inevitable. We have Venus moving into Virgo. Beautiful energy. That's going to be on October 2nd. Usually Venus is in detriment, but I feel like for people are going to be dipping really low and dipping into the depths of relationships. And then we have, which is also going to help you get past the superficial criticisms that you normally have in relationships. We have October 3rd, we have Pluto in Capricorn. It's going to be in retrograde. It's going to be quincunxing the North Node in Gemini. And then on the October 4th, we have Pluto in Capricorn. It's going to go direct. And so we will have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all going direct. Now, all these energies take time to kind of get back up. So it could be this harsh reality, this chaos, and then followed by some ways to empower that situation. Okay, we have the black egg for you. So let's take a look at that energy. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, and the concept of the truth itself draws us in. We start asking about questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment and every situation. It is the epicenter of truth and the birthplace of our voice. So that's pretty insane. So for maybe some of you, this Tower moment can have something to do with a truth that is revealed. Maybe about a female in your life or a feminine energy in your life. that can bring you closer to happiness. Interesting. Facing the truths about our situations ourselves and that sort of stuff is kind of like the hard part, I think, in life. Oh, we got this again. So take a look at this card. This is Soul Cards 2. And this card hurts me a little bit because I feel like there's so much external chaos, so much energy, so many people with so many agendas, and they're just beating down with this negativity, right? And this feeling of an ominous, heavy kind of weight from an external energy. And you see this person kind of hiding and just wanting a safe space, trying to be grounded and rooted, and really reaching for something more than this world is like forcing us to see. It's quite the heart-wrenching card. That's the way that I see it. Maybe this person has done a lot for others, and this person really, really needs a little bit of tender love and care right now themselves. So if that's you guys, I hope you're doing okay, because I really do care about you guys and want you guys to be weathering this storm with me so we can reach positive outcomes together, okay? Oh, we have 26, we have love and partnerships. Well, Venus is moving into Virgo, and there is some magnificent energy if you guys are willing to dig deep. This blue is a sense of calm. It is a sense of steadiness. I see, whenever I see a 2 or a 6, I think of a 3 and a 3, or a 1 and a 1 is a 2. So I do see balance. I see black and white thinking. I see emerging. 2 plus 6 is 8. So I think of 4 and 4, balancing the 4. So we're looking for somebody to steady us and for them to be steady. We're looking for a mutual relationship. We're looking for someone that can provide us like a safe place to actually express love, and then we can receive it, but we can also give it. Wow, you guys have quite the read there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your planets at play here, buddies. I do very, very extensive shuffles offline, but I do like to just show you that I'm shuffling online so you don't think I'm setting these cards up for any reason whatsoever. Okay. Well, we have the Queen of Coins. She is in reverse. We have the Hermit in reverse. Wow, we have the Page of Swords in reverse. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Well, what do you expect when you have a tower moment, right? You're going to have some stuff in reverse. That's okay. We'll just take a look at that right now. So we have beginning of week, midweek, end of week. Queen of Coins in reverse. That's not feeling very secure. That's not feeling like you have a lot of stability right now. It could mean that you are really, really in need of some time to ground your energy and to simplify it. You may be really heavily inundated by the negativity of the outside world and having a difficult time to, see what's reality, what really is reality, and not what people are imposing on you as reality. By midweek, we have the Hermit is in reverse. So this is Virgo energy. We have this Venus in Virgo. So, okay. Some of you are really holding on to a safe space inside of yourself where you're not willing to let people in, where you're not willing to put yourself out there. You may be very, very nervous about the direction you need to go. You're thinking about it. You're really trying to focus on which way to go. But this world is so full of rhetoric that it may be difficult to find the downtime and the isolation and the peace that you need to really expose yourself, open yourself up to the lesson of, it could just feel like chaos, and it doesn't feel a lot like I can solve it. I can handle it. I can, set up a routine and a ritual. I've got this. You could be struggling with trying and failing these rituals and routines to try to get yourself back on track. That's kind of what I feel. And then we have the Page of Swords here. Pages are things we're trying to do different. We're trying to master something. So if some of you are trying to master something, you're working really hard at something, and you're finding it very, very challenging right now, that's okay. That's okay. Because it is a long, long journey when you go through a Tower moment to really unveil the truth completely about what that Tower moment meant to you, what you need to transform, what was shaky, what was actually the weakness in your foundation. I mean, it's a struggle. Oh my gosh, yes. My Queen of Wands and my Knight of Wands. I am loving, loving, loving. We've got our Queen of Swords. We've got a Ten of Cups. Oh, my beauties. Okay. I love this so much. So first of all, what some of you may be dealing with is you just really want to go out there and take action. You are done. You are done with, the material realm. You're done trying to play it safe. You're done trying to, to try to consider everybody else and to do the right thing all the time. And you're out there just trying to live your best life and be your most authentic self. Maybe some of you have felt very responsible for people who can't ground themselves, which in turn is not making you able to ground yourself. And maybe some of you are kind of going to get selfish here, and you're going to start to live from a place of living within your own authentic self, taking the actions, doing the things that make you happy. And that might be difficult for you. It may not be your first instinct to want to do because you're a giver. We have the Hermit here. Well, this is about returning. This is about returning to the real world. You have learned something through your Hermit cycle. You have learned some very tough lessons in your Hermit cycle. I mean, you face some very intense truths, or you've had a difficult time facing an intense truth. And so it could leave you kind of directionless. I love that the Sun is in Leo, so we've got this the Sun is in Libra, and so we have this Queen of Swords here. She's asking you to be rational and logical about everything. Don't be afraid to take action, says the Queen of Wands over there, and don't be afraid to disconnect emotionally and do what is best for you, because you have this Ten of Cups goal here, and this Ten of Cups is to live happily ever after. And even though that doesn't seem entirely possible, and it does seem a little bit hopeless, and you could be questioning whether or not that can even happen, pull yourself out of the Cups energy, pull yourself out of that criticalness, and elevate your thinking and think of it as you need to take a look at why this all went down the way it went down, and that why, solving that why, will get you closer to that Ten of Cups energy right there. So, because that's a beautiful sextile that we're having in Neptune and Pisces with this Pluto and Capricorn energy. This could be Pluto and Capricorn energy right there. Just a Plutonian moment, just a destructive moment where it shatters a sense of reality. And honestly, this is what you want. You can try to say that you're a person who's out there being a loner, but it looks to me like you really desire love and partnership. And it could have been something that you let go of, but I think you deeply still want it. And then we have the Page of Swords here. This is rhetoric. This is the world just putting thoughts and feeling energy, and you just walk out of the house and you're like immediately absorbing energy. And it's hard because it's hard to stay focused and go in a certain direction that you want to go in when you feel this level of chaos, when you feel this okay, so for instance, for me, one of the things I've noticed is I find it so crazy difficult to be like, I'll get focused and I'll restore my energy and I'll make out a bunch of lists and I'll have all these positive intentions, and then I'll go into the world and it will suck me dry, and then I'll just be energyless because I am just, it's so dark and hopeless out there. When I'm in my own realm, I'm totally fine, but it's like you get out there and it's like, shoot, there's some negativity. Oh. Okay, so let's put this Hermit back in place. Let's turn this Hermit card upright. We need to do some meditation. You need to really focus on what is important. You need to calm your mind. You need to be at one with your body. You need to feel where it's restricted. And you need to feel where you need to let go of tension. It's just a time of peace. It's a conversation that you have with yourself. When you meditate, when you first start meditating, you'll hear all the voices and all the sounds of the rhetoric in your mind that is difficult to let go. That's this kind of stuff right here. You can push it out and then you can have this moment of peace. You absolutely can. I'm just gonna, sorry. I'm gonna organize these a little bit. Oh my gosh, I love you. Look at her. Every time she comes out, doesn't she just make you playful and excited? And she just, her enthusiasm is like so contagious. So is hers. She's just beating to her own drum. She's out flipping her hair, like freaking, she's just all Leoness. Like, I freaking love that stuff. Sorry, it brings out my little inner child there a little bit. I just want to go hit some drums and flip my hair around for a while. I might be crazy. Okay. Lavender. Surround yourself with love. Love, partnership, love. Look at, this is a room full of chicks. Man, this could be some bro time. This can be some chick time. This can be friendships. This can be get-togethers. We have been so confined and so isolated. We love our people. And you can say, oh, Annette, I don't need people. Yeah, you do. You do. This world is tainting us to believe that we don't need people, that isolation is best for us. It's absolutely not. It's toxic as hell. We have Skull of Flowers, creating through the ashes. You know what? Do I have this book? I actually don't know what the Skull of Flowers is, and I know there's a meaning behind the Skull of Flowers. Oh, I might have to go into, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go into the room and, yep, I don't have the book. I'll be right back. The Skull of Flowers illustrates that there is a sureness, yet a rawness to creating again, to starting fresh. Sometimes the universe gives us a blank slate to work from so we can build what we really want, rather than just settling for less. The Skull of Flowers celebrates not just a kind of phoenix energy, but also an energy of success and full bloom through adversity. So I would definitely think that we're getting adversity if we're getting Skull of Flowers. I mean, I'm just saying. And we have tarot cards, guidance. Every day I do a tarot reading for myself. I do a 3-card draw. And it really does talk to me and give me some guidance about how to process my day and about just some inner questions that I may have moving forward through my day. So some of you may need to do some tarot readings, or some of you maybe just get online and just binge watch a bunch of tarot readings online. They're all free. They don't have to, or you could just book a tarot reading, one of the two. We have Star. So guys, we both know that every time you get a star in my reading, you get a wish upon a star. So I want you to think and to wish for something that can help you feel more secure, that can help you feel like you're going to be okay, and that this world may be chaotic and nutty and it may not make sense right now, and our comfort zones are all being tested, but we're all going to be okay. Just wish on this star right here with all your intent and with all of your momentum behind it. I want you to use this momentum though. Like, I want you to feel the star through these eyes right here. Like, look at these people just flipping their hair around, just living their best life, just lighting a bunch of candles, just, I don't know, like, can't you feel the authenticity in these cards? Don't go for what is safe, what makes rational, logical sense based on your circumstances. Like, shoot for the stars in this wish that you have here. Let's start manifesting and creating magic again in our lives. We deserve magic. Okay, guys, we have self-worth. It's a beautiful card. So we do have a full moon in Aries. It is conjunct Chiron in Aries. So all of us, it opposes the sun in Libra. So self-worth issues normally do come up when you have this card. Are we good enough? You know, we see our flaws, especially when we have Venus going into Virgo. We will tend to kind of not define us properly. We won't identify what's good enough, what's perfect about us, because all we will see is imperfections. Don't let this energy run away with you. You are beautiful just the way you are. You have to embrace every flaw that you have, because every flaw that you have makes you unique and beautiful. Okay, so let's put all this stuff over here. What a week, huh? What a cray week, guys. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, digging. I feel like the dark corner. I'm going to the dark corner. What's in the dark corner right now? Okay, I dug, my friends. I dug me some dark corner. Okay. Guitar, make music, sing, play an instrument, play, just play. These cards are wanting you to play. Do anything that's inspirational to you. Creation is probably one of the most authentic things to do right now, to find power in yourself and confidence in yourself. This little guy is so cute. He's just a little squirrel, and when I see a squirrel, I think of somebody who's incredibly resourceful, somebody who's rational and logical about what is ahead and is completely preparing for that. But honestly, they play a lot. Like, even though they're out just, 24/7 trying to build resources, right? They're playing in the meantime. They're super darn cute, by the way. Oh, we have a beautiful, whoops, sorry. We have a beautiful dragonfly, guys. I feel so blessed. It's like such a good omen when I see a dragonfly. It means hope to me. It means like Neptune and Pisces to me. Whenever I see one, I think of fairies. I just think of magic. I think of things where hope is generated. I don't think of things based on reality. I think of things based in like every one of those fantasy novels and fantasy movies. So try to find the magic in your day. Try to find the energy. Just embracing reality as it stands when it's in a state of transition does not define, don't identify with this transition. And then we have the apple here. So the apple used to be, people used to believe an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I mean, there's a reason for that. It's also just a suggestion of eating healthy, incorporating fruits and vegetables. It's really great to do during Venus and Virgo season. I know that sounds crazy, but okay. I'm gonna dig. Dig. Okay, guys. If you guys knew how much you jot, it's like jotting things down, writing things down. I don't know, I saw it. That's like the first thing I saw. I mean, it's immediately. Got 2 D's. And we have 2 B's. Do we have an L? Oh, we don't even have an L. I think it's spelt T-H-E-A-L. T-A-O, the Tao. The Tao has a really interesting concept if any of you guys are open to different belief systems. I'm really loving, I've been studying the Tao a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to comment on the Tao because I'm learning and it is so in-depth. But I don't know, the way that it looks at energy and elements and stuff like that, I don't know, I really vibe with. I see gin. Do some of you need a gin and tonic or something? Like you need a big drink? Like this energy out here, for real, it's like a bugger. I just don't have much. Why? Job. So some of you are really kind of identifying with the job you want to do, what you want to be. Your career, life path, destiny comes up when I see that. I think of 10. I always think of the 10 man, and the 10 man was always searching for his heart, like all he wanted was a heart. And so think maybe some of you are like have this disconnected feeling of the 10 man, but you just really want a heart. So you want to feel again. I think some of us have been very, very protective of our hearts. Toe. Don't be stubbing your toes. Go get your toe checked if you have weird stuff on it, okay? I don't know. That's what I making people toe the line. There's another one. Okay. Shut up. Oh, no. I'm just going to see. Biden really talks about Biden in October. He's showing up again. Interesting. For those of you that are in other countries, Biden is an American presidential candidate. Nobody seems to like, but Bud. Bud. Okay, that is what I have there, guys. We got numbers left. Wow, not numbers. Why do we have so many? We have 22. We have 64. I think of balance too. Whenever I see this, I always, no matter what, always see an 11 when I see a 22 or any double number. But I also think of balance, a 2 and a 2, but you can just do 2 plus 2 is 4. And it could be stability. This is a 10. We have another 10. 6, 4, 24. Some of you could have something significant having to do with 24. We have 62. We have 8. We have another 10. Wow, and these two kind of go together to me. Guys, look at the 10s. You're definitely, this transitional moment is definitely the end of a very, very long cycle. And you really are being pushed forward in this energy. Whether you want it or not, you don't get a choice, because when the Tower moment hits, you're moving and shaking, buddy. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for all your support and you guys showing up every week. Much love to all of you, and just go out there and be the change you guys want to see in the world. Be kind to you. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.